If you've ever followed youth football or kept an eye on Barcelona, then you've probably heard the name Bojan Krkić. But did you know that this guy was considered a real football phenomenon as a kid? Yeah, the same kid who was scoring for Barcelona's first team at just 17, shocking everyone with his speed, technique, and uncanny ability to be in the right place at the right time. Today we're breaking down Bojan's journey, from a youth football legend to a senior career full of highs, lows, and unexpected turns. And trust me, his story isn't just about goals, it's about personal battles, dreams, and the harsh reality of professional sports. Bojan was born in Lleida, Catalonia in 1991. Even as a child, he showed an unbelievable instinct for football. Just imagine, a boy barely 10 years old already running around the pitch like he was born on the grass of the Camp Nou. In 2000, he joined the legendary La Masia Academy. And it instantly became clear, this kid was the real deal. By the time he was 16, Bojan was scoring more than anyone else in the youth teams, and the senior Barcelona squad started paying attention. And then came the moment the entire football world had been waiting for. August 16th, 2007, a 16-year-old Bojan steps onto the Camp Nou pitch in an official match for Barcelona. He became the youngest player in the club's history, breaking every record that came before him. Imagine this, a young kid, the crowd roaring, legendary teammates on the pitch, Ronaldinho, Deco, and he's standing there like he's been playing here his whole life. And his first goal, Bojan scored it in a match against Villarreal, and the commentators just kept saying, there he is, the new talent. In the 2008-2009 season, under Pep Guardiola, Bojan started getting more and more chances. Barcelona are playing fantastically. In the Champions League group stage, he scores a brace against Basel. In La Liga, he puts another double past Almeria away from home, where Barca win 2-0. And in the final of the Copa del Rey against Athletic, he scores again, and Barcelona lift their first Copa del Rey in 11 years. But along with all of this, the expectations kept growing. Everyone expected him to become the next superstar. But here's the problem. Barcelona were overflowing with talent. Messi was getting stronger and stronger, and the competition for a spot in the attack was massive. Bojan started getting less playing time, and every time he stepped on the pitch, there was this pressure. Prove you deserve to be here. And honestly, that kind of weight is tough for any teenager to handle. Bojan scores around 10 goals over the season, with a few key assists as well. He makes history, the youngest player to score for Barcelona in both La Liga and the Champions League. But the competition keeps growing. New players join the team, and the coach starts rotating the lineup. It's hard to hold a permanent spot in the starting lineup, even if you're insanely talented. But Bojan doesn't give up. Training, working on his technique, playing with the reserve team, he keeps learning, growing, and waiting for his chance. By the 2011-2012 season, Bojan is still in the team, but he's not getting nearly as much time on the pitch. And this was the moment he realized. It was time to look for a new challenge, somewhere his talent could truly shine. Summer of 2011, Bojan decides to leave Barcelona in search of more playing time and chooses Roma. Young, ambitious, with experience in La Liga and the Champions League, he was expected to become a real weapon for the team. Bojan makes his debut in the very first matches of the 2011-2012 season. His first appearance comes in a Europa League qualifying match against Slovan, where he comes on at the end of the game. His first goal came on the 1st of October in a match against Atalanta. The crowd goes wild, and the commentators call him the boy with golden feet. Next up, a match against Milan. Bojan scores a beautiful goal in the 88th minute, where he had to quickly read the situation and pick the right moment to strike. Small but confident, he shows he can influence the game even against experienced Italian defenders. But it wasn't all smooth sailing. Serie A is a tough league with depth, with disciplined defenses and physical battles taking priority. Bojan faces injuries, struggles with form, and fierce competition for a spot in the lineup. He scores 7 goals over the season. And here's the important part. It wasn't all easy. Bojan himself later said that moving to Italy had been a mistake. Not that the club was bad, but that he wasn't ready for the challenges that awaited him. Bojan openly talked about having anxiety and panic attacks, dizziness, a feeling of tension. After his loan at Roma, Bojan moves to Milan for the 2012-2013 season. It seemed like a second chance in Italy should have gone better. Milan was looking for a young, talented player who could bring some fresh energy to their attack. Bojan gladly took on the challenge. At Milan, Bojan also faced difficulties. He wasn't always in the starting lineup, the coach changed often, and the playing style was different, but he still had some bright moments. In a match against Siena, he scored a beautiful header. Then there was the game against Roma, where he scored a consolation goal, even though Milan lost 4-2. Over the season, he scored only 3 goals. Although there was no stability, he learned patience, tactics, and how to adapt in a foreign country, lessons that became an important part of his career. July 2013. Ajax takes Bojan on loan from Barcelona. He arrives in Amsterdam with one goal: to play, score, and prove himself. Everything looks promising. A new club, passionate fans, and the hope that he could finally unleash his talent. His first goal comes only in December in a match against Den Haag. The season comes to an end. 24 matches, 4 goals in the regular season. Ajax wins the Dutch championship, the 33rd time in their history. For Bojan, it wasn't a spectacular season, but he became part of the title, part of the team. In the end, though, the club doesn't activate the option to extend his loan, and he returns to Barcelona. And in August 2014, Bojan finally leaves Barcelona and signs with Stoke City. He's already 24 years old. By this time, he still hadn't fully realized his potential at any club, so this move felt like a new hope. He steps onto the pitch, and adaptation isn't easy. He's not always in the starting lineup, but the touches that Barca fans remember are still there. Dribbling, smart passes, and finding space. Winter 2014-15, Bojan is in form. Goals against Arsenal, Leicester, Everton. He just exploded. He was fast, precise, and calm under pressure. In every Stoke attack, he was involved. The fans started chanting his name. English journalists called him the Spanish Diamond, the moment when Bojan became himself again. But football can be cruel. In January 2015, in an FA Cup match against Rochdale, Bojan scores an amazing goal. But just a few minutes later, he falls to the ground. No contact, just an awkward movement. A torn cruciate ligament. Season over. For Bojan, it was a heavy blow. He was just starting to rise, just starting to feel needed. After his injury, Bojan returned for the 2015-2016 season. And though it wasn't easy, he started scoring again. A goal against Swansea, then Liverpool, then Leicester, and Manchester United. Yes, not the same speed, not the same sharpness, but he had experience and a cool head. And the Stoke fans believed in him again. He became a symbol that even at a smaller club, you can play beautifully. Gradually, Stoke City started to change. The team lost form, results dropped. New players came in, tactics shifted, and Bojan's spot became less certain. He started coming off the bench more often, and sometimes he didn't make the squad at all. 2017. After some tough seasons at Stoke, Bojan goes on loan to Mainz. But the truth was, the old Bojan was already gone. After Germany, he returns home. To Spain, to Alaves. For Bojan, it was a last chance to remind everyone in La Liga who he was. He didn't always get a lot of minutes, but every time he stepped on the pitch, it was pure energy. And although he wasn't scoring goals like before, he was respected for his experience and calmness. At the same time, everyone understood that the talent he once had could no longer fully shine. He became a substitute. It was the moment when it became clear. The dream of a big comeback was over, and then he did what not everyone can do. He stopped chasing something and simply allowed himself to live. 2019, Bojan heads to Canada, to MLS. A lot of people said, well, that's it, he's just gonna finish his career. And they were right. But you know what's interesting? He finally became himself. In Montreal, there was no pressure, nobody was bringing up Barcelona, nobody was comparing him to Messi. He just played. He scored. Sometimes he even looked like he was 20 again. Yeah, it wasn't Europe, but for him, it was a kind of salvation, from expectations, from comparisons, from the past. When Bojan moved to Vissel Kobe, it felt symbolic. Iniesta was already playing there, the same guy who once fed him passes at Barca. Now, Japan, calm, a new world. He knew it was the finale, but it was a beautiful finale. He stepped onto the pitch, doing what he did best, playing with heart. It was like he wanted to say, I didn't become a legend, but I still love this journey. In 2023, Bojan announced his retirement. He didn't win the Ballon d'Or, he didn't become the face of an era, but he became a reminder, not every talent is born to soar. Sometimes, just to live their story to the end, and maybe, in that, there's a kind of beauty too.